All right, let's talk about one of the biggest, riskiest moves any iGaming operator can make: switching platforms. And look, we're not just talking about a simple software update here. Oh no, this is a complete business transformation. And if you get it wrong, well, the consequences can be absolutely catastrophic.
And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. It really captures that core tension, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got to evolve. You've got to innovate to stay in the game. But on the other, you have to protect everything you've spent years building: the business, the player base, your reputation. It's like walking a tightrope between progress and preservation.
So let's just get on the same page and redefine what we're actually talking about here. Forget the word switch. I want you to think of it more like the ultimate stress test for your entire company. It tests the strength of your data, the grit of your teams, and maybe most importantly, the loyalty of your players.
And that really brings us to the main idea here. You aren't just swapping out a piece of software. You are fundamentally rebuilding the engine that powers your entire business. Every single bet, every transaction, every player interaction, it all runs on this engine. So this is a major, major overhaul, not just a quick parts change.
The thing is, for a lot of operators, this rebuild isn't really a choice. It's inevitable. Your old legacy system starts to feel less like an engine and more like a giant anchor holding you back. Maybe you're trying to break into new markets, but your platform just can't keep up with compliance. Or maybe your team is just drowning in manual work. Sooner or later, you get to a point where standing still is actually the bigger risk.
But moving forward has its own set of traps. So now we're going to dive into those hidden risks and costs. You know, the stuff that can turn what looks like a smart upgrade into a complete business-crippling nightmare if you're not ready for it.
All these risks kind of fall into four main buckets. First up, you've got the technical risks. We're talking data failures, dreaded downtime, all that fun stuff. Then there are the operational risks, which is where your own teams can get completely overwhelmed. Third, and this one is a big one, are the reputational risks that can just shatter player trust. And finally, you have the financial and legal landmines, the ones that are often buried in the fine print. You know, the really scary thing on the technical side is the domino effect. One single tiny data mapping error, let's say you mix up a player's bonus wallet with their actual cash balance, that can spiral out of control instantly. All of a sudden, you've got thousands of players who can't log in, or they're seeing the wrong balance, and bam, a tidal wave of support tickets and a potential compliance nightmare.
And we absolutely cannot forget the people involved. Think about it. Your team probably has years of muscle memory built around the old system. If you just throw them into a brand new environment without the right training and support, you're looking at huge delays, way more manual work, and a serious hit to morale and productivity.
But maybe the most terrifying risk of all is the damage to your reputation. See, you can fix technical glitches, your team can learn new workflows, but player trust? Wow, that is incredibly fragile. The second your players start to wonder if their data or their money is safe, winning them back becomes this massive uphill battle that can take years, if you can even do it at all.
And then we have the financial icebergs, the costs lurking under the surface that you don't see until your budget has already crashed right into them. You're suddenly paying for 2 platform licenses at once. Your old provider slaps you with a massive exit fee. You realize cleaning up years of messy player data is going to cost a fortune. These are the hidden costs that just sink budgets.
So we've seen what can go wrong. Now let's talk about how it all goes wrong. Because most of these failures aren't caused by some random technical fluke. Nope, they're usually caused by a few common and frankly, totally avoidable mistakes.
If you wanted to write a how-to guide for failure, this would be it. Step 1, just treat it like it's only an IT project. Nothing for the rest of the business to worry about. Step 2, don't tell your players anything's happening. They love surprises. Step 3, rush everything. Who needs all that boring testing anyway? Step 4, make sure your internal teams don't talk to each other. Silos are great. Step 5, a personal favorite, only budget for the absolute best-case scenario. And the final nail in the coffin, view the whole thing as a massive chore, not a massive opportunity.
Okay, enough of the doom and gloom. The good news is that every single one of those risks and failure points can be managed. So let's switch gears from fear to control and actually lay out a blueprint for getting this done right.
This blueprint is exactly how you flip the script from defense to offense. And notice how each of these steps directly tackles a risk we just talked about. To stop technical failure, you audit your data like your life depends on it. To prevent operational chaos, you get every single stakeholder aligned from day one.
And to protect your reputation, you test everything in a sandbox and do phase rollouts instead of that one risky big bang launch.
And when we follow a plan like that, the entire story changes. The goal isn't just to survive the transition anymore. The goal becomes turning what could be a huge drain on your resources into a powerful strategic launchpad for your future growth.
Which brings us to our last and I think most important section. A great migration isn't just about dodging bullets, it's about seizing a huge opportunity. It's about a fundamental mindset shift from just managing risk to actively chasing rewards.
Just look at this comparison. On the left, you've got that defensive mindset. Just avoid downtime, don't lose data, try to survive. But on the right, that's the offensive strategy. That's about unlocking new markets, making your brand stand out, and truly enhancing the player experience so you can scale with confidence. That's the real prize here.
And the payoff for having that offensive mindset is massive. This is how you get into new markets faster than your rivals. It's how you launch those advanced features that make everyone take notice. It gives your team better tools, reduces their manual workload, and ultimately, it sends a powerful signal to the whole industry that your business is ambitious, it's agile, and it is ready for whatever comes next.
So, I'm going to leave you with one last question. I want you to take a hard look at your own business and ask yourself honestly, is your platform an anchor, just weighing you down with all its limitations? Or is it an engine, powering your growth into the future? The choice, when it comes down to it, is yours.